Hey everyone, welcome to the She is Emboldened YouTube channel. My name's Jen. I'm the founder of She is Emboldened, and today I'm going to give you my favorite kids discipleship resources, books, Bibles, all the things for how to teach your kids the Bible, how to follow Jesus, and all that good stuff. So I've literally got them all laid out on the table right now. And there's probably more, but I tried to pick the main ones. So I'm going to start. My kiddos are 7 and under. So these will be from birth, I guess, through elementary school. So this is a very simple one. It's the Beginner's Bible. Our kids were given these when they graduated from preschool, so 4 years old. But it's been great for our 3-year-old as well. There's not a ton of Bible stories, but it's a good start and they're short. So I mentioned in the previous video, so if you didn't catch that one, I just shot a video of all my kids' discipleship tips. Then I talked about how your kids' attention is the number of years they are. So let's say they're 3. Their attention span is 3 minutes. 3 minutes, y'all. So this is a good book for littles with short attention spans. Okay, let's see what else we got. So you can start with one like that. The Jesus Storybook Bible, it's longer, but beautifully written by Sally Lloyd Jones. We have used this for the Jesse tree, if you guys are familiar with that, for years. The story from this, you can look up some plans online for that. And I can link where we got our Jesse tree ornaments. We got them on Etsy. It's basically something you do at Christmas time, where there's an ornament for every prophecy or story about Jesus all throughout Scripture. So the Jesus Storybook Bible, I've had so many parents tell me that they love it too. It's just beautifully written. It's unlike probably any other kids' Bible that I know about, but this is another one that we have read with our kids starting in preschool or even toddlers, both of these could be toddler and preschool. Kind of the next two, I would say progressions from these two that we just mentioned. There's this one my in-laws got us. So it's Bible Stories Every Child Should Know. And this isn't one I had heard about, but the reason I love it is once your kid has kind of heard the stories in the Beginner's Bible, the stories in the Jesus Storybook Bible, it's time to start picking up some of that critical thinking that I talked about in the last video. So the reason I like this one is it has questions at the end of every story. And it's just a really good conversation starter. I mean, that's my primary approach to discipling and teaching my kids is I basically just ask a lot of questions. And I talked about this in the last video, but hey, what does this story tell us about God? Or what does this story tell us about us? And your kids will need a lot of coaching at first. That's okay. But if you want questions that are already written, then this Bible is a great option. I would say starting probably at 4. You could do earlier. Again, it depends on the maturity of your kiddo. But I love this one because it has a lot of different stories and then also has questions. This is one, I think I just got this last year. And this also has discussion questions. I think Amy Gannett was the one that I heard this about from online. But it's the Beginner's Gospel Story Bible. And I actually, this was hiding in my room because I was prepping for this video weeks ago and I never got to film it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get back in this with my 3-year-old. A few of my favorite things about this one. First of all, let me find a good page for you. The illustrations are amazing. Just amazing. And it has questions and a gospel connection in every story. So this Bible is so different than any other one I've seen, and it really is probably my favorite for preschoolers. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I gotta go grab my daughter's Bible too. Okay, this one is falling apart. So if that tells you anything about how much we use it, this is the Action Bible. So this is in comic book form, which I was unsure about when we got this for our son last Christmas. This is how much we've read it, y'all. In not even a year. Let me show you a picture. So this is so great for older kids who are maybe a little bored with like the kids stuff. Because like I said, it's in comic book form. See if you can see that. And it's surprisingly accurate, but really interesting. It has a ton of Bible stories. The breadth of this one is a lot more than most other kids' Bibles. And it's just like fantastic for elementary school. I think this is our favorite elementary school Bible. And now I'm going to run up and get my daughter's. Okay, our church gave my daughter this Bible. This is the CSB, which I love the CSB version, Outreach Bible for Kids. And so it has the full Bible, like you would expect, right? But it's at an easier reading level and in an easier language. Not language, but you hear what I'm saying? Like it's an easier to read version that still has the complete chapters and verses of scripture instead of like Bible study format, Bible story format, like these other kids' Bibles. The company I really want to try is Kaleidoscope for this age group, for kind of like elementary through middle school, before like they're out of the kids stage, but they're not quite ready for like the full adult version of the Bible. And I've heard really good things about Kaleidoscope. I'll make sure I put a link to that in the show notes as well. Okay. A few other random things I have here. Look how little this book is. Okay, anybody can read it, even if you hate reading. This is Family Worship by Donald Whitney. Has some really simple tips for family discipleship. I heard about this from our church. Very easy read, very easy principles for discipling your kids. And this is not a Bible, but our kiddos love, this is by Louis Giglio, Indescribable 100 Devotions About God and Science. I'm pretty sure there's a second version too. If you have a kiddo who loves science, they would love this book. It was something that was super interesting to our son when he had a hard time like attending to a full Bible story. It was just something to incorporate scripture, because there's scripture it's like devotional style. But you also get to learn fun facts about science and the world. This is what my 7-year-old has loved right now. It's like the kids version of Pilgrim's Progress. My in-laws got this for him. It's beautiful. Let me find like a not scary page. He has loved reading it. It would make a really good gift for your kiddo that has gospel undertones, but is just something else to read. The Chronicles of Narnia would be another thing I would recommend for elementary age kids. We've been reading that with our 2nd grader, and he can read it, and then we read it with him. So it's kind of a little bit of a tag team. And then we end up watching the movies together. So it's a really good motivation to get your kid to read. And it's really fun to connect the biblical themes in C.S. Lewis's work. Okay, do you like my fancy bookmark here? This is by Tim and Kathy Keller, New City Catechism, again. So if you're not familiar, I was not. I didn't grow up learning about catechisms. These are the foundational principles of the Christian faith. And so you don't have to do this, but what we did, we had gone over this with our kids before, but we really go spend more time on it once they start verbalizing a desire to follow Jesus. They start verbalizing a desire to get baptized. This just makes sure they understand the foundations of the faith. So, and actually, what is idolatry? I talked about that in the first video. That's in here. What did God create? How many persons are in God? Things like that. I would highly recommend this. And this is like $1.99, maybe. I don't know. It's a great way to teach your kids the foundations of the faith. I think we've lost that in the Western church some. Those are some of our favorite things. I probably missed some. So maybe I'll have to make a part 2, or circle back when I've got older kids. But I hope that was helpful for you. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.